1340 96.5 KVGC. On the phone with me, Douglas Viviani from Everything Old is New Again. Tonight, he and David Cohen will be hosting the show that makes radio fun again. Takes a look at our pop culture, where it came from, and why it's still popular. Everything Old is New Again tonight at 6 o'clock. And Douglas, did your team make it into the Super Bowl?
No, the Yankees don't even play that sport, but the other two in New York are just as much a chance, or at the beginning of the season had just as much a chance of making it as the Yankees did. No, how about you?
Well, let me ask you this. So the New York Jets, they don't play in New York, do they?
Correct. They play in New Jersey.
And where do the New York Giants play?
New Jersey.
So
Same field.
Why aren't they the New Jersey Jets and New Jersey Jets?
That's been going on forever. People have been talking about that. I think they're the Giants now, if I'm not mistaken, if you look in the paper, but because they want to avoid that issue, and it's still the New York Jets. So, yeah, I mean, that's their origin. That's where they came from. But if they were to call them New Jersey, either of them or both, whoever, New Jersey, people from New York definitely would stop going, or a certain portion would definitely stop going to the games. And these days they want as many people to stand as possible.
Is there some...
There's that rivalry, man. Yeah. We want New York team in New York. I don't know how they even got away with all that, but that's where it's at.
Hey, I'm with you. Is there a cultural bias between New York and New Jersey?
Huge. Unfortunately, New Yorkers look down their nose at people in New Jersey as buffoons, and and it shouldn't be done. But that's the provincial nature of New York. It's ridiculous. I think it's silly. It's some of my best friends live in New Jersey, but it does happen, and it's sort of like I can analogize it, I guess, sort of like San Francisco to L.A., maybe something like that.
Okay. Well, how do you feel being a resident of North Stony Fork, or wherever?
East North Fork?
There, yeah, that's it. Yeah, East North Fork. Do you look down on people from New Jersey?
No, I don't. I really don't look it down on anybody. I've lived in Rhode Island. I've lived in Connecticut, California, and I enjoy the differences in the different cultures. But it's pretty cool that there are definitely, even just one state over, different points of view, different cultures between New York and Jersey, and very much more suburban and very much more just into their own thing, and they're looking for that. They don't have a big city, and they just want to have that that stature to come to the table as a state that people are and want to visit and so forth. They just don't seem to have anything like. Can you think of New Jersey? Like, would you ever visit Jersey from California? And if so, for what purpose?
I had a friend that actually, her father was a tomato farmer in New Jersey, and he was a farm advisor from New Jersey. And I was thinking, there can't be any farms in New Jersey. That's the city. That's a city. But apparently, are there farms in New Jersey?
Oh, yeah. New Jersey is very rural, very open-landed and open. And, I mean, there's Atlantic City and there's Newark and there's the Jersey Shore, which is sort of like, coastal town. But other than that, it's a pretty huge state if you look at the map. And it's very residential, and there's definitely tons of farm area all around.
See, when I think New Jersey, I think more of I don't know why, I think more of gangster activity in New Jersey. And
that's what's weird to me, because to me, New York is been known for the mob influence in New York City and all of that, and the Corleones from Long Island and so forth. So before The Sopranos, I never even thought about the mob in New Jersey, but I guess they're everywhere. What can I tell you?
That's how most of us got our indoctrination to New Jersey and that area is from The Sopranos.
Exactly. So and they're pretty right on. That's kind of the mindset over there. Not mobsters, but I mean, that kind of attitude, who they are, and the accents and the food they eat and all that stuff. It's great. It's great culture. It's great stuff. But it's totally different than California. It's just totally different than Rhode Island. It's totally different than Texas. So it's
well. So Douglas, let's get back to the football. Okay.
Yes.
Would you spend? Now you're a family man. So I know that you're going to say no because your wife wouldn't let you, like my wife wouldn't let me. But would you really spend $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 to go see a football game?
No, there's absolutely no way on the planet. I never would. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Star Trek convention in Vegas for 4 days. I wouldn't spend $5,000. I wouldn't spend $5,000 on any form of entertainment that's 3 hours long. To me, it may, especially you could watch it. Hate to say it, better on television.
Right.
Certainly is going to be a great experience, a lot of fun. But unless you have the dough, unless $5,000 is a drop in the bucket for you. Like how could you do that? That's like 2 mortgage payments.
There must be some people that it's a drop in the bucket to, because it'll be a sold out crowd.
Well, I think it'll be sold out, but now let's remember. Now we're in Minnesota. The temperature is supposed to be in the low teens, and like my daughter this morning, it was like it's 12 degrees out. We waited for the bus to go by, and all 3 houses that feed kids into this bus stop, all the kids were inside the house, and the bus went right by. So I've got to take her to school. This happened yesterday. I had to take her to school.
You don't make your kids stand outside?
No, I was not going to go stand outside in that weather. So am I going to go to a football game in that weather and stay there for 3-4 hours? I've heard the prices were being sold on the secondary market for about $5,000, and now the price is down to $2,000, and there's no expectation of it to rise. So if you want to get a deal and go to the Super Bowl, you can get your ticket for, half price. It's not so bad, I guess.
I had a friend that went to World Series and said it was one of the worst experiences he had ever had because it was so crowded. And you couldn't, you had to go to the, if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to wait in a line for an inning or two. You wanted to get something to eat, you had to wait. It was just miserable. It was miserable. Yeah,
I've been to a number of World Series, luckily, very luckily, with the season tickets with the Yankees years ago and in the 90s. And you have to basically, what we did was we went to dinner beforehand, went to the bathroom before you go to the seats, and you want to stay at those seats as much as you possibly can, because that's where, you're okay. But you're right, when you get into, the aisles and up and down and food and all this stuff, it's an absolute mess, although a lot of the stadiums now are open and you can kind of look over your shoulder and still see the ball game as you're waiting for this stuff. But it's a problem, I'll tell you. All these events, it sounds like a lot of fun in theory, but unless you really plan it out and have some experience, these are problematic. Don't you think?
That's because we're over 35,
exactly,
and there's no more adventure to it anymore. But you made the reference earlier, the Star Trek reference of the day. There has to be one in every episode of Everything Old is New Again, and we try to sneak one in here on our little talk too. But you made a reference to Star Trek. Have you seen I watch a show on Mondays on Access TV called Nothing But Trailers, and it's like an hour or two of nothing but movie trailers.
Right.
And it breaks for commercials, and I watch it and I feel like I've watched the movies, but have you seen that new one about that girl that wrote is writing a script or attempts to write a script for Star Trek?
Yes, Dakota Manning is in that, right? It's Please Stand By is the name of it.
Yes.
And it's actually out this Sunday. I think they're releasing it on Sunday. I don't know why, but it's out this week. A very limited release. She's an autistic girl that is a big Star Trek fan. That has a story she wants to tell. There's a contest in L.A. I don't know where she is, Midwest or something, and she leaves home to deliver her script in person to the contest in Los Angeles, and all the things that go on. It's like a life lesson and an adventure and so forth. And the thing that I think, first of all, it's a Star Trek script. And I think it's perfect for a movie like this because it seems to be where she's telling a story with some significance, some meaning to it. And that's where the Star Trek is the best, when it talks about sociological issues and, pop culture and so forth. So I think I'm curious as to what her story is in terms of, the script. But besides that, I think it's great, the references to Spock and Kirk, if you see the trailer and all that. It looks like it could be a lot of fun, but also with a nice meaning to it. The thing that I think is very curious is that it's very I guess it's a very low-budget movie, and the distributor of the movie is a very unknown distributor. They can't get this movie into wide release into theaters, so automatically right now, while it's in the theaters this weekend, they're also producing it for you to see on iTunes and Amazon Video, which I haven't seen movies on those yet, but they've got TV shows, and certainly they've got other movies as well. So it's going straight to that access to your home. So I'm curious to see if that works. I know there has to be a decent movie for people to watch it, but will people pay for it right at home, and is that the future, or movie theaters out in the future? What do you think?
Well, wouldn't you rather watch a movie if you had, I've got a 55-inch, TV, so it's not the biggest there is, but it's big enough. I don't know. I don't go to a lot of movies. We go to maybe one movie every 6 months, and I don't know. We're not a family of movie people. We never have gone to movies. But I guess what I'm getting at is I would watch a movie more. But gosh darn it, I was doing it the other day. I was going through. Oh, look at this. Oh, I'd like to watch that. Oh, look at that. Oh, on the pay-per-view channels.
Right.
And then you look at it, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to spend that much money just to watch this. But I guess if I went to the movie, I would be watching this. Oh,
that's
I'll wait till
the curious thing also, because if you look at it, if it's run already, the movie's run already, and it's been out for quite a while, you can get it for free, or you can get it for $2.99, $3.99, whatever. But I've seen like the movies like Wonder Woman, which is just barely getting to now a home distribution on DirecTV. Any this way, they're saying buy the movie for $21.
Yes.
Like that means anything.
Yes.
I'm not buying the movie. I want to see it for maybe 2 or 3, not 21. Right?
Yeah.
So I'll wait a little longer, but you're right. You go to the theater, I would spend 20 between the popcorn and the ticket price and whatever else. So, but I say this: I will go to a movie if it's in a theater if it's going to be an event, type of a movie. But if it's going to be a little movie like this, unless I guess if I was dating or what have you, it's a good excuse. But I'm not going out to go see Please Stand By Me. But I certainly this weekend or next would go on Amazon Video and watch it for, I don't know, $3-4. You?
There's a real good part in it where people can't understand her because she's talking Klingon, and this guy talks back to her. What is she doing? She's talking Klingon. So
exactly. He was a cop, and Patton Oswalt, who does the narration for the Goldberg.
Oh, listen, I only want to touch on this for a minute because I haven't been giving you enough time to talk about your this week's show. But did you watch the Goldberg spin-off the other night?
I did, and I was very hopeful. I guess I was blindly hopeful that it would be something worthwhile. They basically did a spin-off with the teachers and what happens in the school when the Goldberg kids graduate in the 90s, and it has the touch of nostalgia for the 90s, but I just thought it was a miss. What do you think?
Yeah. Just it was like riding on a car with 3 wheels. It just didn't fit right. You know what I mean?
It just didn't work, and the main character reveals herself and as a narrator way at the end, sort of the end of the story, and you didn't meet her and care about her at all. Tim Meadows is pretty funny and was good in Saturday Night Live, but he's supposed to be the star or one of the stars now, and I don't know if they picked it up or not. I don't see it working. It just doesn't have the magic of the original show. Sometimes you just can't recreate.
I read a thing I read a piece on the internet. What was it, Thursday? I think it was Thursday, and it said that they're going to give it a second shot. So they're going to give it a second shot. So we may see another couple of episodes of it, but it did not do it for me whatsoever. I like those characters. I like the coach. I like the character that Tim Meadows plays in little doses.
Right.
In little doses, But did you see the episode where Goldberg, the wrestler, was on it and was the coach's brother?
Yeah, from Villanova, actually. Yeah. That was great. I tell you what, the one that resonated with me, that was pretty good, but one that resonated with me was the one that went out to dinner at a restaurant as a family. And all the aggravation which all of us have when we're kids and our parents don't like where they're sitting, so they've got to change the seat and you're embarrassed. And they return the food because it's not hot or it's not what they ordered and so forth. It was just, it resonated pretty good with us. How about you?
I don't have I don't have any, close Jewish friends. And so I don't know if this is a caricature of a Jewish family, all the stuff that they do there.
Right.
I come from an Italian family, and there's a lot of crossover on a lot of that stuff. So I don't know if, am I supposed to laugh at some of it, or am I supposed to cringe at some of it? But
it is definitely politically incorrect in some places, but all in good, clean fun, and it wraps itself up at the end with a good message. So I think it's we can laugh or cry if we feel like it. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. He was very. I think it's pretty, at least from the East Coast, it was very stereotypical of dinners at restaurants with our family. So,
Hey, what's up with today's show?
We have, as mentioned this a little ways back, visited the Doctor Who convention on Long Island in November.
Yeah.
It was the big event of Long Island for about 5,000-6,000 people, and that franchise has been growing in popularity. It's got 50 years of this phenomenon going strong. So it's really a great example of everything old is new again, and that entertainment today is built upon the foundation of entertainment in the past. So we went there and we interviewed Sylvester McCoy, who was the Seventh Doctor. He was also in The Hobbit. We interviewed the voice of K9, if you're a fan of this show, who's the robot dog. We interviewed Katie Manning, who was the Third Doctor's companion. And so David and I listened to the interviews and comment before, during, and after this week. And they're not just about Doctor Who. I interviewed them definitely about other things. I didn't want to just stick to Doctor Who, which so many people have talked about. Why is it popular after 50 years and all this? I wanted to talk about how they get where they got and what lessons could be learned from their careers and branding and how do we brand our own businesses the way that we have a branding person there, a marketing person we talk to, and different things like that, life lessons and other shows that are similar. So it's a great bunch of interviews. Even if you aren't a fan of Doctor Who, you'll get a kick out of it.
Do you and David have a TARDIS?
David visited Doctor Who 2 years ago and was enthralled. They brought an actual TARDIS, or maybe one appeared, I should say, at the convention. And so he's still in the market to take a look and see if he can put one in his apartment. But no, I don't have one.
Everything old is new again tonight at 6 o'clock, again tomorrow night at 6, every weekend here on KVGC. Douglas Viviani and David Cohen. Hey, Douglas, we're going to have to get you out. I've given up on David. I don't think he's ever going to come. But, we're going to have to get you out here some Friday afternoon for one of the shows at the National. We've been doing, last couple of weeks, we've been doing different beverage tastings at noon, and I think you would get a kick out of that.
I noticed that, and last week I actually made a suggestion. You can make suggestions on the Facebook Live for you to try Estella, and I got back, I have that in my refrigerator. I don't need to taste that.
I know, that's exactly.
So I don't know. I had to see if I could participate a little more positively in that. And I think my best contribution would be, you're right, to actually be there and taste all of these drinks. That would be better than sitting in my car at a stoplight and making a comment to you,
All right. Douglas, have a great show tonight.
Thank you. Enjoy the weekend.